I sure do love my place around here, and I feel like I've said it oftentimes. I feel like I lucked out when I got this place, and it's been so quiet, and it's just like a corner of the world that kind of time forgot, and it's awesome. And I've got tons of great memories with Sierra here. We really had a nice time just kind of settling into the property and just making it homey, and watching her, be able to live out her final days in peace out here and stuff like that. Those are memories that I'll never forget. But the past couple of nights, well, it's actually been going on for about 3 months. Each night, hey Meadow, no, girl, hey, don't get in that cactus. Each night, I've been dreaming about fly fishing and like hardcore dreaming about it. Like it seems like it's all night long. Like as soon as I close my eyes, I'm fly fishing, and then I wake up in the morning and I'm here. And it's something that has been eating at me. I feel like I don't know. I wonder if I made a mistake by buying this place, and not that it's a mistake property. I mean, this property is awesome, but for what I want to do with my life and how I want to spend my free time, like I don't mind spending my free time around here doing landscaping stuff. I think that's fun, but there's going to come a point where all that's done, and then I want to go fly fishing, and the nearest fly fishing is about an hour and 20 minutes away. That's good. That's good fly fishing. It's about an hour and 20, hour and 30 minutes, but the problem is it's got a lot of people there, and it's a canyon that is really pretty. It's got way more stuff to do than just fishing. So most people that go there, they don't go to fish; they go to hike. But it's just a madhouse, and I like the more remote fishing, like when you're out in the middle of nowhere and there's no one around. You're hiking in the canyons and stuff, and there's just not a lot of people. And that's where I feel like maybe I should have ended up in either southern Colorado or northern New Mexico. And I've been looking at places out there, and there's actually a couple of places that have caught my interest at the moment. And I've just been thinking about making a change, And I don't know, maybe it's just this time of year because it seems like every time spring rolls around, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna move somewhere else. I'm gonna do something, but then I end up not doing it. So maybe it's just the time of year, but I guess like being a nomad for so long, it just got into my blood to like be on the go. And now that I'm staying stationary at one spot, I get antsy, and I get to the point where I'm like, I got to get out of here. I got to sell my place and move on. But then I think about all the work I did here and how the place is coming together, and I think that that's probably not the best choice. But if I did sell the place, I can make a fortune on this because of all the work I've done, and I bought it for next to nothing, which is nice. So I could really make some good money on it if I decided to move on. But I think over the next year, what I'm going to do is just really evaluate my life and really see where I'm the happiest and do a couple trips to certain areas to see, how my mood changes and all that stuff. And also too, like, the videos are, I think, are better when I'm out doing the nomad thing. Here at the property, it's more of a niche, kind of crowd, like the homesteading crowd. It doesn't pull in as much views and as much money as the camping and fishing videos that I do. Because I went through all my videos and I added them up of the money, and it's like I get about a fourth of my revenue from these. Well, let me say it a different way. I get four times the revenue on my fishing and like Colorado and northern New Mexico and some parts of Utah where I'm up in the mountains. I get more revenue out of those videos. And it's probably just because there's more stuff to do and I'm out doing different things every day. I'm out hiking, fly fishing, camping, you name it, as opposed to here, I'm just working on the property. Now, when I'm here, there's projects to film, but like I said, that's more of a smaller market, I think, as far as what people like with views. And I have to look at my life as somewhat like a business, of like with the content creation, because I want to do this for the rest of my life. I don't want to do anything else. And just with the channel, the videos out here, while they still bring in revenue, it's not near the revenue that I get from Colorado videos. And I've been looking online. There are some parcels in some pretty remote areas where like people just don't want to live. It's too far out and stuff like that. And that's what I want. And so I'm thinking about possibly, I got to get a few things done around here in the next week or two. And then after that, maybe go check out some land in southern Colorado and just kind of just get the feelers out there, see what I feel when I'm there at these different locations, do some fishing, see how the fishing is. It's a little early season, but I think I could, let's see, it's May. I could get to the end of these spots. They don't have snow. And so I'm thinking that's what we'll probably do just to kind of see, how I feel, because it'd be so awesome to have like a little spot, like an acre on a creek. Anybody would want that, especially a creek with trout in it. I mean, I think I'd died and gone to heaven. That's like my ultimate goal because I designed my life to fly fish. And when I was doing all the nomad travels and all that stuff, I mean, my number one priority, other than hanging out with Sierra, was to go fly fish, and she loved it too because she'd just go camp out underneath a bush next to me and just take a nap while I was fly fishing. But I think to be in an area that has more fly fishing and just more water may be what I need. I don't know, but I just feel like I'm missing something out here. And I haven't been able to put a finger on it. I've felt that way ever since I moved out here. Like I love it, but I feel like I'm like there's something missing. And I now that I've been dreaming about fly fishing every night for like 3 months, that's what it is. Now I'm gonna try to do it to where once a month I take a fly fishing trip because I'm right in between, like literally the same amount of distance that I would drive to Colorado fish, I could drive to the Eastern Sierras and fish. And everybody says the Eastern Sierras and fishing and the terrain is just insane. There's not a lot of people out there. So that would be cool to go check out. What's up, sweetie? What you doing? You got a little Meadow right here. She's just hanging out, aren't you, Pumpkin? You been running around having fun? Um, but I don't know. So it's just been something that's been on my mind, and I wanted to share it with y'all because I feel like I'm in this kind of stuck zone. Like I'm stuck in between making a decision of what I should do or just fully committing to this place. And the good thing is this place is paid off, so I don't have a note on it or nothing. So if I wanted to go get another piece of land and then test it out for a little bit, I always have this to fall back on because I know what I'm getting here with the vibe and everything. But if I could be in a spot to where I walk in my back door and I can throw a line in the water, you know, like who wouldn't want that? To me, that would be like the end all. Like, okay, I'm done. I don't need to go anywhere else. And this one spot that I'm looking at, it's a spring fed creek, and so it's not really affected that much by snow melt. And you go into this little canyon upstream from where this property is located, and the canyon's awesome. It's all hiking only, and you got to bushwhack a little bit to get back in there. But the fishing's really good, and I've got some reports that I'm reading online of these anglers getting like 17, 18-inch brown trout, which is insane. And it's all natural, and so it's not stocked. And real pretty canyon. Not a lot of people back in there. Like I said, it's a pretty remote area. Not very many people even know about this section of Colorado, and so that's something I've been thinking about. Just wanted to share that with y'all. I don't know if it comes through in the videos of me kind of being uncertain about being out here, but I've been feeling that lately. So just wanted to be open, let you know where I'm coming from, and yeah, I'll let you know what I decide. But as of right now, I'm still in indecisive mode. And I don't like being like that because I like to just go, and I'm not doing that at the moment. But I'm really trying to think this through and thinking of what would be the best next step for me. And if it's staying here, then I'll stay fully committed. If it's moving on, then I'll put my place up on the market for sale. And well, maybe who knows? Maybe I'll keep it for a little bit, see how things go at another spot, and then I can make the decision here. But just been a lot of thinking lately, lots of thinking about what to do, and I haven't really made a decision yet. So we'll see what I come up with. Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Yeah,
That's cool.
good to see you.
Good to see you as well. I was gonna do a donut. Which
Yeah.
ones you got today?
I got the old fashioned.
Cool. Right on, dude. Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, so what you see here is I'm actually trimming back this juniper tree, and I'll eventually get rid of it in full to open up more sunlight and also create more water opportunities for these pine trees that are around here. Because if you look underneath all these junipers, there are these pine trees that could really, really thrive if I open up the terrain a little bit. And so that's the goal for today is I usually just wait till I go through one full battery of the 4 amp hour battery that I have on my electric chainsaw. And then once that's done, I call it a day. But this will be good to open this up down here, and then hopefully over some time, you know, having this on the ground right here is going to create a little bit of shade for more grasses to come up, because that's what I did over in this section, which we'll go take a look at here in a little bit. And what that does is it allows tall grass to fill back in, and then I can remove that wood after it's seasoned and use it for firewood for my hot tub. So, love doing this sort of stuff because I think, number one, I like getting rid of the junipers, and number two, giving these pine trees an opportunity to grow just makes my land look that much better. All right, we just ran out of juice with the battery, and I wanted to explain my thought process here by spreading out these branches all over the ground. What this does is it creates microclimates for tall grass to perpetuate and grow. So this will provide shade to where it's a little bit cooler underneath there on the ground, and the sun just isn't baking down it directly. So that'll help for the tall grass to grow. And then also when it rains out here, it's going to help the ground stay a little bit drier until the tall grass can really take root. Once the tall grass takes root, it can grow roots up to 10 feet deep. And what those roots do is they help to get water directly into the ground immediately by aerating the ground, because the water just follows the path of those roots. So I'll probably come down here in a little bit and sprinkle some tall grass seed, that tall grass blend that I have of native Arizona tall grass. And then if you look over here, this is an area I did a couple years ago, and look at all this grass that's growing down here, which wasn't growing initially. This whole area was just free, almost completely barren of any sort of grass. But now, since I went through and really trimmed back this tree and gave the ground an opportunity to get some sunlight on it, all this grass underneath here has started to grow. And that's a direct result of having this provide some ground cover and some shade, and allowing the land to not dry out as fast when the sun hits it. So that's what I want to do around this whole area in the lower section. And this is going to be like a decade-long project. It's not going to happen overnight, but I think it's worth it. And seeing results like this shows that those processes and those techniques worked. I learned about all this by just watching certain videos on YouTube of conservation efforts out here. And there's one video, which I'll put the link in the video description below, that is specifically from my immediate area. And it shows the difference from 2020 to 2022 and how grasslands will start to fill in again. Because, you know, back in the late 1800s, before overgrazing and the junipers took over, northern Arizona was just nothing but tall grass. And then now, if you look around, the trees they've choked everything out. You know, the trees have choked everything out now. And so the more of those that I can kind of systematically eliminate just in certain areas, the better off I think we're going to be at getting the land to rejuvenate. Back in this section of my land, you can see how this is basically what Arizona used to be like. It's hi, sweetie. It's just all tall grass through here, and different grasses like that. That grass right there, it needs a lot of water to grow, so that means there's water underneath that area. But essentially what I want to do is get the rest of my place to look like this again. And the nice thing about that is once those grasses take hold, that is the best thing for this environment to restore groundwater. Because all of these grasses, all of them have shoots that go way down, the roots go way down in the soil. And that just helps, that does a couple of things. Number one, it helps to recharge groundwater when the rainy season comes, and also when the snow melts. Number two, it's good for not having any sort of topsoil erosion, you know, because the winds will come through and just whip up real bad. And if there's no grass holding it down, then what'll happen is you'll get this topsoil erosion, and it's like the Dust Bowl would happen in the the Midwest back in the 30s. And then number three, I just think it looks really pretty when all the tall grass is growing, especially during monsoon season when everything's green. So that's the goal down here. And like I said, it's going to be like a decade-long project, but it'll be fun to see it come to life. Here's another good example of how these create microclimates. If you see this grass on the ground here that's just exposed to the sun, you know, it's very small, just little tufts growing. But then we look underneath these trees, and it's like this own little microclimate. And I laid these branches down 2 years ago. And so same with over there, that one's got some really nice tall grass growing underneath it. And that's what we want to do across this land. And once that tall grass gets mature, then you can go ahead and move those branches to another area if you want, or just use it as firewood because this is all seasoned. But these create little microclimates on the ground and help to restore it, so it's not just this tiny little grass right there. This is exactly what I want. One of my neighbors gave me a call and he wanted to move his 40-foot shipping container over to a different place on a separate property that he has. So I went over there with Meadow and we were basically just kind of spotting him just to make sure that he wasn't backing into anything major with his Bobcat. And with a little bit of ingenuity, what he did was he actually bolted up a frame with some wheels on it, and we scooted it underneath the shipping container. We were able to get it back over to his place, so this operation was successful. All right, them chirping like that, they want some food. That's what they want. So they're making so much racket right now, but don't have the food in there at the moment. Whoops, you got that middle. Don't have the food in there at the moment. I just cleaned it out, and unfortunately, I accidentally killed one of the chickens. What happened is that I've got this metal. Come on, metal. Oh, it's a plane. I thought that was thunder. Got this metal grate right here, which I put them in when they are when I'm cleaning out the chicken coop or the brooder. What I do is I'll put the axe over the top like this and just leave it kind of sitting there like that, and it's good to go. But I must have accidentally bumped it or something. I didn't pay attention. I didn't notice when this happened, but the axe fell down and actually landed on one of the chickens. So unfortunately, we're down one of them. It was one of the buff Orpingtons. It was the biggest one I had too. So that's kind of a bummer. But it's looking like rain. I did have a friend call and just say it was raining down the road. So I think we're going to be getting to hear the temperatures dropped dramatically. It's probably maybe 55 out right now. And so we're just going to be chilling the rest of the day, hanging out with this little one over there. She goes potty, and get the hot tub up and running for later. So that way, take advantage of the hot tub this evening. And then I got to make a town run tomorrow. So, but anyway, just wanted to share those thoughts earlier with you all about what I'm thinking out here. I don't really know what I'm up to. The nice thing is I've got options. I'm not pigeonholed into one spot. So if I feel like leaving and going somewhere else where there's fishing and literally out my back door, then I could possibly look into doing that. And if there's any developments with that, I'll let you know. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. Hope you all have a good Tuesday, and we'll see you in the next video.